Can we have a microphone in the middle of the third row, I think it is?
This is a question for both of you. Is there a key scene that each of your characters had that wasn't used in this show that you regret they didn't use, that might have given us something more about you personally as a character?
As far as I'm concerned, there was just one scene. You know, actors have absolutely no power at all in a television show. We certainly have no power as to what the content is going to be or which way the storyline is going to go. That's decided by the writers and the producers. And the producer always has the last say. Even if a director wants to put in a scene, there is no certainty that it's going to be in the eventual version that's seen on television. It could easily be edited by the producer who decides everything. And there was one scene which they wrote, and it was an absolutely wonderful scene. It was when Father went above for the first time, and we had flashbacks of him when he heard that Margaret was dying. And we had flashbacks of him at the McCarthy trials. And they wrote the most wonderful speech where he turned on these people who were trying him and said, "You are the people that should be tried for the disgrace you're bringing to America," and how un-American they were in their activities. And it was a wonderful, wonderful speech. And a day before we were due to film it, Ron Coslow said to me, "We're cutting that speech. And instead we're going to talk about the amount of nuclear fallout in the Nevada desert and all these facts and figures," which was totally boring, you know. And I said, "But Ron, you're making an awful mistake here." I said, "This is a most wonderful dramatic speech, and if you just give me half a chance to do it, I'm sure it's going to be, you know, it will explain my character and everything about him, and what a man of principle he is, and how he fights for the things he believes in, and is not afraid to tackle people." And so after haggling and haggling, eventually he let me do it. And I was very pleased because we were doing it to these actors who were playing the audience and the members of the trial panel. And when I finished the speech, it went as well as I expected it to. It was a beautifully written speech. It got a round of applause from the actors when they said cut. And I knew it was a good speech. But they didn't like it. They wanted all their facts and figures. And when it came to the actual performance, that was cut. So once again, the actor really doesn't have much say in television, or indeed in film. The only time that an actor can come into his own is on stage, because you direct a play with the director, and you spend 4 months, with the Royal Shakespeare Company, you spend 4 months rehearsing it. But an average commercial play will rehearse for about 4 weeks. And possibly in your last week, just before you open, you're giving the director something like 75 or 80% of what he wanted originally from you. And you go on and you do it, and then the director leaves and goes on to direct another play. You, the actor, are stuck with that production for as long as it runs. And Jay will tell you a story about this, which she told us yesterday. A month later, the director will come back and see the production. It's nothing like the one he produced originally, directed originally, because the actors have now taken over and made the parts their own. They may not always coincide with what the director wanted, but the actor feels comfortable in them, and he feels that he's exploited the character and made it much deeper. But to go back to the original thing, yes, I do deeply regret that that scene was cut, because I did think that it explained Father's character much more. Jay, would you have a scene that you can think of?
No, not from Beauty and the Beast. I can't think of anything that was ever cut on me that was of any relevance. I mean, it was just. I mean, I know I had scenes cut, but it was never anything. Great. It was never anything like a wonderful speech, like in a courtroom or anything like that. It was, you know. Yes, you can take 3 days, Radcliffe. See you later. You know, stuff like that. It was just stuff that was kind of uneventful. But you know, earlier. This lady in the front, in the second row, asked me what, I think it was you, what do we talk about? Was it you that asked me what do we talk about? Or somebody asked me what do we talk about when we're amongst ourselves, me, you, and Brumman? And I did want to say one thing, that this was the thing that went away and then came back. Last night, as we were watching the videos, some of the music videos, Brumman was sitting next to me at one point because Kay had switched seats with him. And And he said, you know, it's been about a year since I've seen any of Beauty and the Beast. He said, you know what? He said, this was a really good show. And I said to him, I said, Ron, I can't believe you had doubts about this. He said, yeah, but you know, when you do something every day for 2.5 years, he said, you grow so close to it, it becomes just part of your life. He said, but then when you take 2 steps back and you forget all about it and you go on with your life, and then a year later, a year and a half later, you go back and you look at the stuff and you review it and you say, yeah, all right. So that's what I wanted to tell you.
I think that's absolutely true. I don't think Ron was aware at the time of the kind of character he was creating and how it would almost go down in the annals of the whole of fandom and fantasy world as being a quite extraordinary and original character that he created. And I'm sure will go on for many, many years. And I hope, you know, one day soon we're going to see it on the screen again. But in the meantime, he has created something I don't think he realized at the time is going to exist for many, many moons to come. I remember. It's a terrible story, and I'm sure Ron won't mind me telling it. So I hope he's gone back anyway.
He has no choice at this point.
But I remember when it first started, and suddenly the euphoria hit him of what he had created and how popular this character was. And in those days, Kay used to occasionally come, my wife used to come on the set. And we're great friends. I mean, we kid each other, and we've been together for a long time now, for about 8 years anyway. Ron and I have been close friends, and Kay and Opal. And he came on the set one day, and he just got a manager for the first time, which meant another 15% out of his salary to another parasite, but he didn't realize this at the time. And this manager was trying to earn his keep, and he said to Ron, and Ron came up to it, and he said to Kay, Ron said to Kay, he said, you know, my manager tells me that there are at least 1 million women in this country who would like to sleep with me. And Kay said, well, it proves 2 things, doesn't it? She said, A, all managers are bloody liars. And secondly, if you take your makeup off, they're going to run a mile. And he chased her around the studio trying to strangle her. It was very funny. Aren't I glad he's gone back? You sure he's gone back?
Oh yeah, he's gone.
He's a big fella.
I put him on the plane. He's gone. He's gone. All right, go ahead. Yeah. That's Vincent, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, me and my family would like to wish you a happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. I've just had a message on the telephone from my daughter in California wishing me a happy Father's Day, and my grandson wishing me a happy Grandfather's Day or Father's Day, whatever. But I haven't heard from my 2 daughters in England. And I was a bit perturbed about that, so then I suddenly realized, of course, A, they don't celebrate it, and B, it's not Father's Day in England anyway, so why should they know about it? So I do thank you. You've made up for all my daughters who were missing today. God bless you.